You had a good Christmas?
I had a fantastic Christmas.
Santa
fun? Was really good to me.
I got everything that I wanted and some.
Yeah?
And that was good.
What was your favorite gift?
Probably that, you saw that Sitka hat.
Yeah.
The little Sitka hunting hat.
Yeah.
I mean, I probably won't wear it in the woods. It's just too nice.
It's also a little too thin for actual hunting.
I think I'm just going to like use it for like working out, like running and
hikes,
I
walks.
feel a lot of hikes in my 2026 coming on.
Is that your New Year's resolution?
I got to work off the Christmas 10.
Yeah.
I didn't gain 10, but I definitely feel a little, we got to do some work. Got to put some work in.
It's exactly what's supposed to happen over Christmas though.
Yep, for sure. I was going to tell you this. I was had a meeting earlier this week. It was with a guy. He's a pastor, and he's like, hey, can you catch a quick call? Ended up being like an hour call, which was fine. But he said, man, I've got to make a big decision. I'm trying to figure some stuff out. I've got like 5-6 options here, and he's like, I just need some coaching. So I was like, yeah, absolutely, let's do it. So we start chopping it up, and I'm realizing that he's got the emotions are really high. Because it's like high pressure decision. Emotions are really high. Options are many. And he's like, I don't even know where to begin, what to do. And so like, I immediately just kind of went back to a conversation I had with one time when I was trying to make a decision. This guy said, you need to make vision decisions. Don't make emotional decisions. And I was like, all right, tell me more about it. And so this guy really coached me in this process of like how to get vision for where you're wanting to go, where you want to end up. Where you're wanting to move your family, move your team, move your church, whatever. And he was like, you need to do that because if not, you'll make emotional decisions. And he's like, when the emotions are high, the options are many, it's just the water gets muddy and it's hard to make it. So anyway, I'm coaching this guy. And I said, man, what you need to get clarity of vision for where you want to end up. And he was like, I don't even know where to begin. And so I said, well, tell me your process for normally getting vision. And it very much was like what you'd hear pastors say. And I mean, I know a lot of our conversations that we have with people are not just pastors, it's leaders and nonprofit or business or whatever. But this guy's like, it responds the way any pastor would. Well, I'm going to pray.
Go up to the mountain.
Go to the mountain, And I said, that's great. And I said, but what are you going to do when you go up to the mountain of the Lord and he gives you vision? He was like, or I said, what's the process for doing that? Of course, he's like, well, I'm going to do some worship, do some prayer, do this, that, whatever. And as I was talking to him, I said, the thing I want to encourage you and challenge you with is, I said, go with a framework of questions. Go with something that's like sort of a framework or a structure that it doesn't take the God factor out of the equation, but it's simply bringing those questions to God, saying, God, help me to answer these questions and getting vision that way. And so we started talking about it. And really, I just told him, I was like, if you don't get vision going into 2026, I said, here's what the Bible says. Without vision, people cast off restraint. It doesn't say without vision, people don't do anything, which that could be the case. But usually the case with leaders are going to do something.
Yeah.
And the question is, are you doing the right thing? And vision is what helps you make the decisions to do the right thing. If not, you cast off restraint, which means you do anything and you do everything. And next thing you know, you have no momentum and you end up getting frustrated because you haven't got somewhere, right? So anyway, I'm chatting with him about this.
You do too many things.
Yeah, you do way too many things. And so I told him, I said, as long as your vision is general, it's not helpful. And so you need this framework of questions. And so I gave him a series of questions and stuff. And then I just presented him with this principle. I said, the clearer the vision, the fewer the options, the easier the decisions.
Yeah.
And I told him, I was like, man, this has been something that has guided me when I've had to make big decisions, but also small decisions within our organization, both Sidecar and with the church and stuff like that. And so anyway, I had that conversation, finished it. And I thought, that's what I want to talk about at the beginning of 2026. And I think we should just have a little conversation around
that's great.
vision.
No, I love it because I think we're all in the beginning of January, personally trying to figure out what is the year going to look like for us. And then as leaders of a church and an organization, trying to figure out what should the year look like for us and the organizations that we're part of, the businesses that we're part of as well. And what should we be going after? And I love that you already brought up that verse in Proverbs 29:18. Another translation says, where there is no vision, the people perish. And we've talked about this a lot before, that the converse of that is also true, that where there are no people, a vision perishes. So I think to your point, it's really key that you have to get really clear on the vision so that you know where you're going. But in order to accomplish, most of the time, God's going to give you a vision that's larger than yourself. And so in order to be able to accomplish that vision, you need to be able to rally people around that as well. Yeah. So that's where I think a lot of the clarity comes in, is not just how do I get vision, but then how do I communicate this vision to other people, a clear pathway of where we're going and why we hope and why we're going there, in a way that compels other people to come alongside of the journey with you as well, and know how they can get alongside the journey with you. Or else you might have great vision for the year, but you'll get to the end of the year and see that you only accomplished a fraction of that vision because you weren't able to articulate that clearly in a way that other people were able to get on board with that as well. Yeah,
the other scripture I shared with them, and most people have heard these scriptures, but the whole Habakkuk thing, right? I love Habakkuk too. It's like, write the vision, make it clear so that the people can run with it. The runner can run with it. And I think if your vision's not clear, number one, and it's not portable where people can carry it, well, then what happens is you may have a grand vision, but you're the only one carrying the vision. When you could have exponential, I don't want to say labor, but exponential effort multiplied through other people so that you can accomplish it. And so if you don't have the ability to get clear on the vision and make it portable and cast it to people that can carry that vision, then you're going to be frustrated as a leader. You're going to get to the end of the year and you're going to feel like, man, what did we actually accomplish? Did we even win this year? And so I don't know. I think a good conversation today is like, hey, let's help people practically. Like, I don't want to just give you a bunch of inspiration stuff. Like, practically, what are some things that we can do to help people get clarity on the vision and then also communicate it to people so that they can carry it out?
Are you an executive leader looking to level up? Or are you leading a team that could use a crash course into effective leadership? Our Leadership Masterclass teaches 7 essential leadership skills that you can implement immediately with your team. These are practical, proven strategies to help you lead with clarity and confidence. If you're ready to transform your leadership, sign up today at sidecarleader.com and get started with resources that you can use right away.
That's great. And I think we're going to hit these pretty fast today. We've got a lot that we want to go through, but really we want to walk through today 5 principles or 5 questions to ask to help you clarify your vision, and then 5 principles on communicating vision as well. Hopefully these are things that you can write down wherever you're at with whatever organization you run and put them into play tomorrow so that you can get clarity on the year ahead. So you want to hit them?
I love it. Let's do it.
Let's do it. So 5 questions to ask on how to clarify your vision. I just want to repeat that phrase that you said at the beginning. The clearer the vision, the fewer the options, the easier the decision. And so the goal of these is to get really clear around what is it that you're trying to accomplish. So the first one is this question: what am I actually trying to move people towards right now? And I think part of the guiding principle there is that you want to be able to guide people with vision that has direction to it, not just activity around it. When I kind of think about that, I think maybe you're a church leader and you sense that one of the things that you want to guide people to is more sense of belonging or relationship. So the direction that we're going for is relationship. The activity that we're going to do might be small groups. And so you need to rally people around small groups, but it's not just for the sake of groups, it's for the sake of that connection and that belonging as well.
It's funny you use that as kind of a case study because I actually wrote that down for our church. For our church for 2026. There's a lot of things that we could do, but I really, when I was like praying, I was like, God, where do we want to end up by the end of the year? Like, because we want to build with the end in mind. What is that? And as I was praying about it, what I sensed was formation is the word, right? Is that people that they're deeply formed by God, but also that their relationships are deeply formed. And so, like you said, like the system to deliver that for us, the primary way is through small groups. That's the how. But where we want people to end up is we want you by the end of the year that you've been in relationships with people in that context, and you've grown in your relationship with God, and you've grown deeper in your understanding of Scripture. You've grown in your relationships and being accountable to people, being known, being needed, all those things. So that's where we want to end up. So you reverse engineer that if that's where we want to take people. And so I was even scribbling down all these different things, and we'll probably jump into some of this stuff. But it's like that's why we say this is where we're going. right? Is deep formation. We want people to be deeply formed by God. How we're going to get there is through small groups.
Yeah.
And so it even begins to shape the language that you constantly repeat, like, hey, around here, small groups are a big deal because that's the primary place where we're formed by God at our church, right? So you begin to get these statements that are going to carry that culture and carry that vision. But you have to first determine, like, what's the ultimate?
What's the destination?
What's the destination? Because if you don't determine the destination, people will assume the direction and they'll take it in different directions.
Yeah. No, that's great. Yeah. So vision starts with where do we want people to end up?
Yeah.
Not just what are the activities that we want to be doing.
Yep. Perfect.
That would be first question. Second one, and I love this one. Why does this matter more than everything else that we could be doing?
That's great.
I love that one because I think, like we said, it's the clearer the vision, the fewer the options, the easier the decision.
Yeah.
So vision should tell you this is what we're saying yes to, but it should also tell you what we're saying no to as well.
That's
and
great.
I think it's in the saying no to other things that you truly get the clarity that you're looking for to be able to rally people around vision.
I think one of the best passages of scripture, really it's just a great story, even if you're not a person of faith, is Nehemiah. When you look at the book of Nehemiah is this guy that gets a vision from God to rebuild the walls of Jerusalem. They had been torn down by Babylon. The place, Jerusalem's in ruins. And so he gets his vision to restore and rebuild the wall of Jerusalem. That's the one thing. We're going to restore and rebuild the wall. We're not going to try to set up a new government. We're not going to try to do this, that feeding program over here, or building camp. It's one thing, and that's the clear vision. And then you fast forward to like chapter 6 in Nehemiah, and I think it's Sanballat and Tobiah, all these different people that were the enemies wanting the wall to be stopped. They start sending an invitation, like a letter to Nehemiah to come down from the wall. And I love it. I think they sent it to him like 3 or 4 times, the invitation. And every single time his response was this: I'm doing a great work and I cannot come down.
Yeah.
Why should this work stop for me to come and meet with you? And I think it's because he had such a deep conviction of where we're wanting to go. And that clarity of like, this is where we have to go. We have to get to this place. And so he knew anything that adds to that and helps us get to that is a yes. And anything that takes away from that, it's a no.
Yeah.
And so I think that's one of the things that's so powerful about vision is it makes all the options to do all the other things. They begin to kind of prioritize himself.
Yeah.
And you begin to see like that is not in alignment with where we're going. So guess what? It sounds like a good event.
And it might be good.
It might be good. Just it's not for us right now.
The most important thing right now.
Yeah.
I heard a podcast talking about part of Apple's success and the way that Steve Jobs would lead Apple is that he would bring their whole leadership team into a room at the beginning of the year. And he'd start by asking them, what are the 20 most important things that we should do?
Yeah.
And then he would say, great, now what are the 10 most important things that we should do? What are the 5 most important things we should do? What are the 3 things that we need to do this year? And he would force everyone in the room to get down to what is the most important thing for us to be able to do this year. And it's, and again, in that prioritization, you're able to rally everyone around that and help them to see it is this above everything else. We're going to do some of these other things, but not at the cost of this one thing.
Yeah, that's really great.
Yeah.
I love that.
Love it. Yeah, I think, you don't lead by adding more to people's plates. You actually lead by creating clarity, which often means taking things away as well.
Yeah.
So number 2, why does this matter more than everything else that we could be doing?
Yeah. I love this quote: unprioritized vision becomes exhaustion.
And you know where that's the most true?
Where?
More than any other place
The church.
I've been a part of before is the church.
Yeah.
And I think it's because, like we just talked about, there's so many good things that you can be doing.
Yeah.
Small groups. Let's go all in for small groups. Let's go all in for the outreach this weekend. Let's go all in for the student ministry event that's happening this weekend as well. And they're all good things. But then they compete with each other with resources and with people's times, and it becomes exhaustion.
Yeah.
I mean, how many churches with Sidecar have we worked at before where it's just event after event after event?
Yeah.
Because all of the events sound like a good thing, but they don't really point to a specific direction.
Yeah, that's really good, man.
Here at Sidecar Leader, we don't just develop content that we hope adds value to you. Our bread and butter is really our coaching. If you're feeling stuck as a leader, whether you're navigating growth, strategic planning, staffing decisions, or tackling your toughest priorities, our one-on-one coaching sessions are here to guide you. Together, we'll identify the strategies and steps that will take your leadership to the next level. It's time to invest in your growth because your vision and your team deserve it. If you're ready to get started, you can visit sidecarleader.com/coaching. We can't wait to work alongside of you.
This hit number 3. I love this one.
Yeah.
Am I willing to repeat this consistently for the next year?
I love it.
I love it. So you have to ask that question when you're trying to get vision. Am I willing to repeat this consistently for the next year? In other words, like, is this so important that I'm willing to commit, like, cut me, I'm going to bleed this for the rest of the year?
Yeah.
Or is it something where you're going to, 3 months in, you're
over it.
You're looking for another silver bullet to grow your organization, to grow your church, to grow your resources or whatever? Or are you going to be able to really say, hey, we're pushing all the chips to the middle of the table and we're all committing to this for the next 12 months?
Yeah. I think why this one's important is because vision leaks. And so people are going to forget the vision. And so part of your job as the leader is to continually put it in front of people. And so if it is your vision for the year, you've got to be able to commit to 1 year. You're probably going to be sick and tired of hearing yourself say it.
Yeah.
But it's not about feeling excited about hearing yourself say it, but continually rallying people around it.
This is the one I probably struggle with the most. Because I don't know
Why
if
is that?
I don't know if it's, well, I think I'm naturally, like, I'm a visionary leader, so futuristic, strategic, that's in my like top 5 strengths, whatever. So I'm always thinking about the next thing, and I'm always thinking into the future. And oftentimes, like, I'll start working on something that is really important, and then 3 months in, maybe I get bored, and I'm like, what's the next thing, the next hill to climb, the next thing? And usually at that point, that's usually when the people are actually starting to really buy in to the thing. And now I've moved over to the next thing.
That's a great point. Yeah.
So I've had to people like you, I think finding people that that kind of think maybe just the opposite of you in some ways, that can help you stay committed to that thing. And like, as a leader, like saying, hey, we have to trust the process. And that if we stay committed to this for the next 12 months, let's then measure our success. Let's not like move to the next thing right now. Like, let's really commit to this. Like, it's the whole flywheel thing. You're never going to see the flywheel flip over unless you stay committed for the long haul on it. And so I think that's really, really important.
I love one of these questions that we wrote down here. And it kind of goes to what you're saying is, am I prepared to reinforce this even when it's no longer exciting?
Yeah.
It's exciting now because it's January and we're all making our plans for the year. But what about when May comes and you're 5 months into saying this over and over again? Or when August comes and it's a new school year that's happening? Is this durable enough to carry you through to that point?
I think probably another way to ask the question is like, am I convicted enough that this could be true and this should be true for our organization by the end of the year?
Yeah.
And if you don't carry that conviction that everything will change if we accomplish this, then you shouldn't do it.
Yeah.
Because without that conviction, you're not gonna stay committed to it.
That's great. So number 3, am I willing to repeat this consistently for the next year? Love that one.
Yeah, I love 4 as well. What will change in how we decide, act, or say no because of this vision?
That one's fantastic.
Yeah, I know you love
that. One's is where the legs really come in.
Yeah.
And for someone, it's funny you say that, you're visionary, so you're going to lead with always coming up with new vision. For someone like me who's more execution, this is what I love, because I want to hear the vision, but then I want to know, what does that mean for us? Mm-hmm. And that's where this question comes in. It's because this is where we're going. It's again, what are we not going to do? What are things that we're going to change in how we're doing right now? Or what are things that we need to start doing because this is our vision also? One
of the things that pops up in our conversations, like as practitioners, like within the church, not in Sidecar, is I'll come up with how many times I'll say, hey, I have an idea. It's nonstop.
What time is it today?
Yeah. So I'll say something and I'll feel pretty passionate about it. And you'll hear me. I mean, you serving as an executive pastor, I'm the lead pastor. You'll hear me say it, and you'll listen to it. You'll ask some questions, some clarifying questions. You're very patient in that process, and then you'll say, "Hey, that's a great idea, and we can do that. But if we do that, we're going to have to say no to these things." And then you'll kind of push the ball back in my court to make the decision on that. Yeah. But it's so important. It's like, are you convicted enough that that's the direction we need to go? Because if so, we're going to have to say no to those things.
And I think that's what teammates and team members really notice the most. It's not the statements that we're making, but it's the decisions that we make.
Yeah.
And so I think it's important to be able to say, hey, this is the vision. This is important enough to us that we're going to say no to some of these other things. And I think when you as the leader start making those kind of decisions, it
Yeah.
actually sets the example for
Yeah.
other people to be able to follow.
Yeah.
And now they know what they need to do to fall in line with that vision as well.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. Like, as a leader, I think one of the best ways you can even develop the teams that you lead is with vision, making these vision decisions, because it becomes this filter and you're showing your team, this is how we make decisions here.
Yeah.
It's not just like we just say, this seems like a good idea. This seems like this is going to do this. But it's like, well, let's go back to the vision that we established at the beginning of the year.
Right.
And now we're in March, now we're in April, and let's run it through that filter and say, is this really
Right.
what we're supposed to be doing here? And
Yeah.
you're teaching them how to make decisions. So it's not just like chasing every silver bullet, which
Yeah.
is what a lot of times, especially in church, we're constantly chasing a silver bullet that's going to make us grow,
Yeah.
raise more resources, get more leaders.
Advance the vision.
Yeah. And so I think having that filter is really, really helpful.
Yeah, that's great. So 4, what will change in how we decide, act, or say no because of this vision?
Yeah, I love that last line. I'll say it real quick. Vision becomes real when it costs you something, right?
There's an opportunity cost to it.
Yeah.
Because you're saying yes to that, you're saying no to other things.
Yeah. Let's hit 5. Who are we becoming as a team if we actually live this out?
I love that one. I think that it doesn't go all the way back to number 1, but it does. I think it talks about how the vision should be about the direction that we're taking people in. It should be about the formation of people, not just execution of activities.
Yeah.
And so what do we want for people on the other side of this?
Yeah. I wrote this down. People don't give their lives to plans. They give their lives to becoming something, right? So I think, when you're thinking of your vision, it's not just like we have this end in mind that is a box that we check off, but that by the end of it, people are developed and formed, and like there's been some value add to their
Right.
lives and it's impacted them. Because here's a reality is that I can't tell how many pastors I talk to, and they're like let's just say launch Sunday, a church planner, and I'm like, what are you going to preach on? And they're like, I'm going to preach the vision of the church. And I'm like, people don't care about your vision; they care about their vision.
Yeah.
Right? The average person that you're talking to, they don't care about this grand vision that you have. What they care about is, how does this affect me?
That is such a good just communication principle in general for all of us to remember.
Yeah, it's like, how does this affect me on Monday and Thursday? How does it affect my family? How does it affect my kids? And so I think with that in mind, I think we have to look at making sure that the vision is not just a destination for our organization, but it's a destination for the people we're leading.
Yeah.
That it gets them to a place where it's added value to them.
Yeah. That's good.
It's really important.
I love that.
Is your team ready to thrive? Do they have the resources and clarity that they need to succeed? In our team coaching sessions, we provide the tools and principles needed to drive health and growth, and most importantly, clarity in your organization. We believe that clarity brings the confidence to lead effectively. So many times we're too close to the problems to see them correctly. And through coaching, we're able to bring objectivity and no emotional attachment to help you see your organization clearly. Together, we'll develop a strategic path that empowers your team to implement best practices and take on new challenges with confidence. Let's unlock your team's potential. Want to learn more? Head over to sidecarleader.com/coaching and let's talk about your goals and how we can help you accomplish them.
Okay, so those are the 5 questions to ask to clarify your vision.
My phone keeps going off over
I know,
here. I'm
we've
sorry.
got people calling in.
We've got people calling in. We've got someone from Minnesota here.
Number 1, what am I actually trying to move people toward right now? Number 2, why does this matter more than anything else we could be doing? Number 3, am I willing to repeat this consistently for the next year? 4, what will change in how we decide, act, or say no because of this vision? And 5, who are we becoming as a team if we actually live this out?
I think it's
love
really
those.
good. I want to throw one last thing out there. It's not in our notes, but I just felt like I was supposed to say it. And I know that we have people that are nonprofit leaders. We have people that are business leaders, but one of our primary customers is pastors, is churches. And I just felt like I needed to say this. The verse that we quoted at the beginning was, without vision, the people perish, or without vision, the people cast off restraint. The actual original language there is, without prophetic vision, people cast off restraint. Well, what is that? Does that mean this is a charismatic vision? No. When it says prophetic vision, really what it means is it's divine guidance. It's vision that comes from above, not from within.
Yeah.
So it is God, where do you want us to go? And getting that download from him. And here's why I'm saying this is so important, is that you have to see the process of visioneering or cultivating and engineering vision as something that you're not trying to just create that on your own and come up with a clever idea. But if you're a pastor, you're trying to say, God, what do you see for us? What is your preferred future? That's all vision is. What is your preferred future for our church, for our organization? Because that's where we want to go.
Yeah.
That's what we want to do. And so it's very much a spiritual process. And so I'm saying that because the next thing is important that I want to say is that, like, it's so easy as a pastor to just copy the vision of another church, to copy the direction that another church is going. Yes. I mean, we always talk about best practices. You want to find best practices. You want to learn from other people, be a student, not a critic, or an expert. Learn from them. But there is a vision that God has for you. I think it's not just for churches. I think it's for every single person, every leader, that God made you, he designed you, he wired you. And so he has a vision for your life. He actually, he has a preferred future for the type of mother, the type of husband, the type of dad, the type of organizational leader that you're going to be. And so I think it is important to involve God in that process, not just kind of pulling from other churches or other organizations or other impressive, inspiring leaders, but you're actually saying, God, what do you see for me?
Yeah, that's
and
so
help
good.
me to see what you see. And then our job as the pastor is then to come to in front of our people and help them now see what God has shown us, right?
Yeah, that's great. I love that. I actually feel like the part 2 to what we just talked about, I think there was a podcast we released in November or end of October, beginning of November, end of October, I believe, where we talked about execution.
Yeah.
And I feel like people need to watch the first part of this and then go back and watch that podcast that we did on execution. Because now that you've got the vision and you've got it clarified, it's time to execute and to make it happen, baby.
Implementation, yeah.
Cool.
I love it. So let's talk about communicating vision. We talked about sort of crafting it and now communicating it.
Yeah. And I think just to go back, I think this is so important because, like we talked about earlier, vision, without a vision, people perish, and the converse is true. So how do we rally people around that vision that now you've clarified?
That's good. The first one is people don't, these are sort of, I would say, principles, really, truths. The first one is people don't follow clarity of plans. They follow clarity of purpose.
Yeah.
I love that. Speak to that a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I think what people are looking for most is what you just talked about. People are looking for they're looking for purpose. And so I think whenever we're able to convey not just the plan, it's what Simon Sinek says, start with why. Why are we going in this direction? Yeah. Why does it matter that we put our time, that we put our effort, and we put our energy into this?
Yeah.
And that's, people don't need to know, they need to know the how. It's not we got someone else calling in.
That's not the starting point.
Yeah, it's not the starting point for them. And so how do we take people from the why to the how? But we've got to start with the why first.
Well, the thing that's really important about it is I found this in my own life, like plans are not inspiring in and of themselves. A plan is not inspiring, but purpose, when you give someone purpose, the why, that's what's inspiring. And not just it's inspiring to get people mobilized and moving. It actually becomes like fuel for perseverance whenever you're not seeing the vision happen yet.
Yeah.
Because you keep going back to, this is why we're doing this. Like as a church planter, you know this because you could be in the grind of church planting, and if you're not seeing the crowds or the salvations or the whatever, the growth happening yet, you have to bring it back to the vision and inspire. Yeah. Like, you're not going to inspire your team by saying, hey, let me remind you what the plan is.
Yeah.
It's not that. It's let me tell you the story of this person's life that was changed. That's why we do this.
Yeah.
It's the why, it's the purpose. And so getting people to see and to buy into the purpose, the why behind it, it will help you with longevity of keeping people like inspired, keeping people engaged. It builds perseverance
for people.
Yeah, it really does.
Yeah.
It's so important. Second one is this. I love this principle. If you can't say the vision in one breath, you don't own it yet.
It's so good. It goes back to that Habakkuk 2.
Yeah.
Make it so clear and so plain that people are able to run with that. I love this quote: complexity kills momentum, but simplicity fuels movement.
Yeah, it's great. I was in a coaching session with a guy, I think right before Christmas, and he's a church planter, and great guy, awesome pastors. And him and his wife were sitting with me, and I said, share with me your vision for the church. And man, he kind of stumbled around trying to explain it. And it was, it was just kind of a lot of different directions. He was getting confused between mission and vision, which a lot of people do. And finally I just pushed pause. I said, let me see he kind of had a vision magazine. I said, let me see that. And I looked at the vision piece, and it was just copy on a page. And I said, here's what I want you to work on. I said, I want you to figure out how to take everything God's put in your head and your heart, where you feel like he's calling you to be, and make it as simple and portable as possible, so that if you're having an elevator pitch with somebody, 60 seconds, boom, you can say it. And so we did some work on that, and he got it down to something really, and I was so proud of him. It was like super portable. It was like 3 different things. And it was just very clear. I think somebody that's kind of mastered it a bit is probably Church of the Highlands. You know, it's like our vision is to see people know God, find freedom, discover purpose, make a difference. Yeah. It's just so simple. And a lot of times we'll have conversations with people around that, and they're like, we don't want to just copy that. And I was like, listen, we're all trying to do kind of the same thing. I don't care what your 4 things or your 3 things are. Say it, but just make sure it's clear. Yeah. And I would say this even too, when it comes to vision, clear over clever.
100%.
Like, people don't follow clever, but they do follow clear. Yeah. And the greatest thing you can give the people you lead is clarity.
Clever phrase might help people remember it a little bit more.
Yeah.
But if it's clever and confusing, it actually works against you. Yeah. You'd rather it be clear. And if it can be clear and clever, great. But you'd rather it be clear over clever.
Yeah.
What if your team had a clear roadmap for the next 12 months on what was most important, complete with objectives, key metrics, owners, and deadlines? And not only that, but also the accountability to see the plan through. Through our team planning offsites, we're able to help you unlock and identify where you are, where you want to go, and how to get there. With a focus on goals, key metrics, and actionable strategies, we'll build a plan that keeps you on track all year and provide the accountability to ensure that you execute what you planned. If you plan your work and you work your plan will work if it's a good plan. If you're ready to set up your team for success, clarity, and a clear roadmap moving forward, you can go to sidecarleader.com/coaching and let's make your vision a reality.
It's like, what's that? There was this old preacher that said one time, he said, if it's a mist in the pulpit, it's a fog in the pew.
Yeah.
And it's like, if it ain't clear to me, it ain't gonna be clear to them.
Yeah.
Like, we've got to get extreme clarity.
And I think a lot of times we think that, we talked about, it needs to be simple.
Yeah.
And it's easy to think that simple means easy.
Yeah.
But I think it's actually harder work.
It is.
To get it to be simple. I love who was it that was writing a letter to the president? Was it Thomas Jefferson?
I can't remember. It was one of the presidents was getting up to speak.
Yeah, that's it. And
it was either Washington or Jefferson.
And at the very beginning, he said, I apologize that this is so long. I did not have the time to make it shorter.
No, he said, I apologize for the lengthiness of my speech. I did not have the time to make it shorter or clearer or something like that.
Something like that.
It's like, the idea is like, it's hard work. It's hard work. But if you don't, then you have a word salad, which makes you look either incompetent, confused, all these things. But if you have like that distilled, concise, like this precision, like this is what our vision is.
Yeah.
And I think people buy into it a lot more.
Yeah, that's great. Number 3, we've already talked about this a little bit, but vision leaks unless it's repeated, and repetition is not redundancy. I love that one.
That's really good. Yeah. I think that what happens with most leaders is they get tired of saying the same thing, and they feel like they're just being redundant. And the reality is like every person learns through repetition.
Yeah.
Like, it starts out even as kids. You think about like our kids ministry. A parent asked me, they're like, man, I've had like 3 times where my kids come home and told me they learned Jonah on the Well. And I was like, well, you'll probably hear it 2 or 3 more times, because repetition is how we learn.
Yeah.
Right. And I think the same is true, not just like kids ministry, but when it comes to communicating vision, is you just keep repeating the same thing, because eventually what you want to hear is cascaded down in the organization. You hear someone else saying the same thing.
Yeah.
And that's how not just vision sticks, but culture is built.
Yeah.
And so it comes out in the statements and the stories that you tell, and you keep telling them. Like, one of my mentors, Pastor Dino, like I could probably repeat 90% of the stories that he tells, because I've heard him tell them for 30 years.
Yeah.
And he's such a good storyteller. I never get tired of hearing him. But the thing is I know the vision, of what he's trying to build. I know why he's trying to build it, because he's constantly repeated the same vision with some of the same stories. And he says it in different ways many times. But that repetition piece is so crucial, so critical.
Yeah.
Like the moment you get tired of saying it, say it again.
Yeah. I think when you start to get tired of saying it is when people actually start to catch on to it.
Yeah.
And that they need that level of repetition just to start to catch on to it.
Yeah.
And then they need to internalize it, buy into it so that they can be able to do something with it as well.
Yeah,
I also think that repeating it, there's so much that people hear that repetition helps people to know, while there's a lot that we're hearing, this is the main thing.
Yeah.
And this is the thing I should be paying the most attention to.
Yeah, that's really good. Okay, here it is. What are we, number 4?
Number 4.
Number 4, vision sticks when people can see themselves in it, which we've kind of already talked about that.
I love this one.
Yeah, if the vision doesn't create a role for them, it won't create commitment from them.
No role, no buy-in.
Yeah. They have to see themselves in it. Like, so one of the good frameworks that we use, I think we use it every time we communicate. I don't know if you had it in here to go there.
I think if we're communicating and just a volunteer rally, if we're doing communications from a stage, if it's even, and we're communicating through print, that we're sending out to people through email or a print piece that we're doing.
Yeah, and it's really
a framework
sort of 3
use.
questions, right? It's like, so where are we going, right? Where are we going, and kind of why are we going there? Second one is, how are we going to get there? And the third part is like the role that you play in helping us get there.
Yeah.
So it's like, if you don't have the answer to all of those questions right there, then you're not ready to communicate your vision.
Yeah. I mean, let's just go back to the small groups example again. I think it's so easy to think information. I just need to get this information to them, when really it's how am I casting vision around something when I'm communicating these announcements right now? And it'd be so easy to be like, hey guys, it's January, February, small group start. Period. But people need to know, okay, that's the activity. Hey, small groups matter. We want to see this year that by the end of this year that you're belonging with people, you've got relationship with them, and that you've seen your life transformed. Because of that, we've got small groups that are starting beginning of February, and you can be part of that by going to our small groups directory, or maybe you want to lead a small group and host a small group as well. So it's not just telling them the information that they need to know.
It's like, check.
Yeah, but why is this important? How are we doing it? And what's the role for you to be part of with that
This is years ago, whenever I was like, just started emceeing services, like hosting services, like church services. I remember this particular pastor, afterwards, he pulled me to the side after the first service. We had like 5 services. And he said, hey, listen, you just gave all the information and you nailed it, but nothing was inspiring about what you said.
Yeah.
And it was good feedback. Feedback is our friend. And so I said, okay. And he said, so here's the thing. Anyone can preach a sermon, but the real question is, can you preach the announcements? And he was like, I want you to, that's really where sort of this framework came from. He was like, I want you to tell the church and to show the church where we're going, why we're going there, and how they can play a significant role in that. And sometimes he'd even say, show how if we don't go there, here's what that will cost us.
Yeah. The opportunity cost of it.
Yeah. It's like, we can't stay here any longer. I think it was maybe Bill Hybels that talked about that. It's like, you got to show people why we can't stay here anymore, why here is not working anymore. And so it's really thinking like more inspiration than just the information. You need the information.
Yeah.
But you gotta be inspiring and pull people into the journey.
Yeah. You need the information so that people can be part of it. But if all you give them is information, then it's just in one ear and out the other. I remember, we just finished the Christmas season, and you go through and there's like a million things that are happening, and you're part of the church. And one Sunday, just looking, being like, I have 7 announcements that I have to give at the end of service. How do I do this without just sounding like I'm a calendar preaching at them? Yeah. And that's one of the principles that's really helpful for that.
Who does it really well? Brian Cromer.
Yeah.
Queen City Church, shout out Brian Cromer.
And he actually, what I've noticed about him, he will say those questions as he's communicating it to people.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he'll say, so where are we going?
Yeah.
Here's where we're going. Why are we going there? Here's what we're going there.
Yeah.
How we're going to get there? Here's how we're going to get there.
Yeah.
And how you can be a part.
Yeah.
Right. It's really good. It's a great framework.
Yeah.
And you can do it again with everything. If it's just
I think you should.
Yeah.
I don't think anything you communicate you should view as just information.
Yeah.
But how am I helping transform
Fantastic.
people?
All right, number 5, drum roll. Hey, vision is not what you're building, it's who people are becoming. And we kind of already talked about this a bit.
Yeah.
But transformation inspires more than construction. People are not inspired by just building things.
Yeah. Yeah. Right? I think vision is more than just a project. it's not just a plan, but it's a purpose to get behind. And the end purpose of that should be some kind of transformation or formation of people, especially if you find yourselves in the church, or for many, even for-profit organizations, or for good organizations that we serve as well.
I think one way you can think of it when you're drafting vision or crafting vision is answer this question. Pretend as if you're the other person, the volunteer, the leader, the staff, the congregational member, the employee, the customer, whatever it may be. Why does this vision matter to me?
Yeah.
Like really wrestling that down. Like, yeah, pastor, you got a good vision. Yeah, nonprofit leader, you got a good vision. Yeah, whoever, boss, you got a good vision. But how does this impact me? What is that your vision? Why should I even care about it?
Yeah.
Like, why should I care about it? And wrestling that down. And I think, and it's not meaning that what they need or what they want is determining your vision, but you have to at least understand that they are asking that question.
Yeah.
And you have to know, how do I, in a compelling and clear way, articulate the vision to show that this actually is going to add tremendous value
this
to you.
This is a value add to you.
Yeah. The clearer the vision, the fewer the options, the easier the decision.
I love it.
I love it.
Great. Hopefully this helps some people.
Let's go 2026.
Best year yet.